All right, guys. We are here today. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well today. Nasdaq slightly green. Nvidia up. We'll cover the big market news coming out in a second here. Hold on. Yeah, I did. I accidentally scheduled the stream to 6:15. I meant 6:15 a.m. We've also had a bunch of Fed speakers this morning, to be honest. Like, a lot of Fed members are speaking this morning. Hold on. Let me make sure the music is good. Let me know if you can hear the music. It should be pretty good. What's up, Sam? Yair. Joe Hall. Enrico. Lit. Bjorn. Anthony. DX. Kyle. Trailer. Ray. CC. OG. Faye. Lost and Found. What's up, guys? Lee. What's up, chat? Good morning. Good morning. I'm here. We're here. Let me drink some coffee. Wake up. We'll cover the market news. Bro, the kitchen joke's getting kind of old. Like, it's overused now, guys. All right. Again, we are in a library, not a kitchen. That's just a cabinet, you know? We are in a library. Our library, to be exact. Bitcoin might test 104. Yeah, Bitcoin flying up, man, the last few days. Honestly, for whatever reason, the Bitcoin liked the Fed meeting that happened, and it's been basically moving up since then. Almost at 105s this morning in Bitcoin futures. Currently sitting at 103.80s. These are Bitcoin futures. The real price of Bitcoin is probably like $500 lower than this, but Bitcoin over 100K again, six figures again. We've had Kugler coming out saying our policy right now is moderately restrictive. We had the president say on Truth, he said, quote, China should open its market to USA, would be good for them. Closed markets don't work anymore. But we're back here this morning. Good morning. Glad to be here with you guys. Do we have any earnings today? I don't think we have any big ones. Let me make sure. It's a pretty slow day outside of a bunch of Fed speeches. We got some earnings, but nothing big. Nothing that anybody really cares about, to be honest. All right, so look at the NASDAQ. Nvidia turn. Something just happened here, chat. Something just happened. Whoa. Something just happened, chat. Wow. Whoa. Maybe one of the Fed members speaking, but... yeah, I mean, we got Williams speaking right now. We got Bank of England MPC member Pill speaking right now. We got Barr speaking this morning. What the heck just happened? Something bad just happened. It looks like it's affecting Nvidia first. Nvidia's on the way down first. It's even affecting Bitcoin, whatever it is. Okay, so the president posted 80% tariff on China seems right. Up to Scott B. So the president just posted this on social media. 80% tariffs on China seems right. Up to Scott B. End quote. The president. Yeah, so I think that's what just caused the chart. Although that seems like a big overreaction here. Big overreaction. But I think that's what just caused this. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. 80% tariff on China seems right up to Scott Bassett, I should say. Wow. You guys agree with him here? All right, market has honestly gotten bought right back up, though. Look at the NASDAQ pop all the way back up here. Is the music good? Market going back to all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It just got bought up back up. Honestly, yesterday was a great day for me yesterday. Trading. We made some money trading yesterday. So we honestly did. We made hundreds of dollars yesterday. We made almost 5, I think. Wait, look. Gotta make sure it's the right account. Yeah. We did make some money. It's gotta be a yesterday option. Today's the 9th. Yesterday was the 8th. Yeah, so we made $350, $360 in one account, and then about $80 in another one. So we made about $440 total yesterday. You love to see it. We're gonna get ready to trade too. I mean, I think trying to capitalize on this volatility makes sense. We just came right back up to the 200 exponential. Bro, that's such a big level, dude, on a chart. Look at this level. Look at the 200 EMA right here. It just bounces literally right off of it. All right, so look, here's the NASDAQ. Went straight up to the 200 exponential, rejected right off of that level after this news release. Honestly, I think it's kind of an overreaction, though. All right, so we're popping right back up here, too. Look at the NASDAQ down here. Bitcoin even reacted to this news, which is interesting. Here's Apple. Apple reacted. We got MU, AMD, Palantir. Honestly, one of the crazier stocks. Up like 100% in 6 weeks. All right, chat. So we are now down at 20.186s. I'm trying to catch back up with this news. Yeah, so again, the news is just President Trump announcing 80% tariffs on China. Yep, let's do a poll here, guys. 80% tariffs on China. Yep. Let's do a poll. We're gonna do a poll right now. So yeah, I wanted to confirm that we might get trading done. But look at the reaction. Again, I'm bringing attention to this reaction. I'm looking at other news this morning here. Hold on, before we get another poll done. Fed Kugler said a couple different things. He said data so far is consistent with the U.S. economy that is strong and low unemployment. Fed's Barr is the one speaking, I'm sorry. He said growth has been strong over the last year and remains so today. He said it's fair to say that the uncertainty around tariffs has raised risks to inflation and lower growth. AI may increase the neutral interest rate. AI may require policymakers to reassess the natural rate of unemployment. And this is one of the main times we see policymakers and Fed members speaking on how AI might influence employment. He said AI might require policymakers to reassess the natural state of unemployment. The Fed may be in a difficult position if both inflation and unemployment rise. Tariffs lead to higher U.S. inflation and lower growth in both the U.S. and abroad starting this year. Economic outlook clouded by trade policies that have increased uncertainty, hurt consumers and business sentiment, and monetary policy, and is a good position to adjust conditions as the conditions unfold. You know, and I think one of the things that we're seeing right now, also Lyft stock is up after a big buyback and strong outlook for earnings. Goldman Sachs saying that a recession is a big risk for this market, says that a recession is a big risk for this market. And again, like look at the 200 exponential right here. Let me get my drawer up, my drawing pin up here. Look at this 200 EMA right here. Wait. 200 exponential literally right here. And so I hope you guys can see how that is an influence over short-term price action, how that thing influences short-term price action, because it really does. It influences a lot of stuff. I can't guarantee anything, but yeah. Man, what else was I going to say? I was going to say one more thing. Oh, yeah. So I think one of the things that we're seeing right now is like the Fed, I think if we didn't have tariffs, this is what I think. I think if we didn't have the tariff situation going on right now, the Federal Reserve would have been cut rates more than they have. They cut them a percentage point late last year. But I think if we didn't have the tariff hanging over our heads right now, then we would have much more cuts by now. We would have probably maybe 2 full percentage points, 200 basis points, that is. Maybe more than that if we didn't have the tariff situation going right now. But the tariff situation kind of puts a question mark on everything because I think the Federal Reserve is worried about inflation that we get from these tariffs, of course. So that is kind of what has been pushing the Fed back. I think we're also seeing strong payroll data last Friday. Yesterday we had lower than expected jobless claims, unemployment filings. And let me know if you agree with me. I'm not even saying I'm right or wrong. I don't freaking know, man. Like, I could be right or wrong. I'm just kind of covering news for you guys. But, yeah, that's what I think is going on. Here, actually, when do we get our first cut? Is going to be the question. When does the FOMC start cutting rates again? We're going to go with June, July. None this year. Here, actually, we'll go June, July. Let me see the schedule here. All right, so right now, if we look at the Fed watch, so market's starting to break down. I would have short this. 17% chance at this point we cut in June. We also have a potential for a cut in September. As of now, it's looking 41% likelihood that we're going to cut at least 25 basis points by September. But again, the poll is going to say September plus, and then we're going to have another option for none this year. All right, so vote on that poll. That poll is now live here. That poll is now live. Is it that bad? Yeah, I mean, things aren't necessarily looking good. Dude, my nose is still so stopped up, dude. Like, ugh. Like, I'm trying not to use nose spray, but it's harder than you realize. There's a cough drop as well. I'm trying not to use cough drops either. As of this moment, based on available Fed posturing data, is July. Yeah, I think a lot of people voting for September. Why September? You guys think it's going to be that long? No way, they were barely cutting rates last year. Yeah, I mean, they cut rates a percentage point. They cut rates 50 in September. All right, look, here's 150 here. We might get ready to trade this. Let's see. Yeah, so let's see if we can buy this. I just need to... Ah, I wanted to buy this level, dude. I was too late. Look at that level right here. I'm too late now, man. Now I don't know what we're gonna do. I want to short it, I think, but we'll try shorting it here. We'll take up to 2 contracts. I just want to see if we range back down to 150, retest it, is what I want to see. All right, we'll add another, and then that's it. We're not going to add any more. That'll be it. All right, retesting this low. Look how quickly that got balled up here. All right, so we're green. There we go. I'm going to cut out of it a little bit early here just because we're very green already. And we might as well capitalize on that. Quick retracement, though. I could add back to this now, too, based off of everything. You know, I'm going to add to this, actually. There we go. Take half off. Go ahead and cut the rest out there. Get a little starter trade in the books here. I'll take it. A little green trade. We could also attack a retracement. See, I wanted to buy this, honestly. Like, I wanted to buy this this level. This level was on the chart for a long time. And look at the bounce. We bounced literally exactly off of this level. So I do have a little FOMO for missing it. All right, so we're still kind of retracing back up here. So we took profit, and it looks like that was the smart move because now we're bouncing back up. We get up to 185s. I might short this again, but yeah. Bouncing back up. All right, so look at this bounce back up. Do we want to short 185s now? I think so. We could jump in small, add another piece up to it. Hopefully we get a rejection. We got a cushion now. It's Friday. Let's see if we can get that add up there. There we go. We're in 2 contracts now. I just want to see if we reject this level. It's a pretty big surge up, though. I want to give it a second. We got a cushion on the day, so we can play with it a little bit longer than we normally do, but here's a retracement back down. I'm going to take half of this off just because we got flat somehow, and that was a big retracement back down. And that way, if it pops right back up, we're going to be basically still green. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. This is too big of a retracement. And we got out still green. It looks like it was the right move, but we'll see. There's sometimes price action. Like, this is a really big green candle. And this is a big push over the level that we were targeting. I also think 185 is not as set of a level as others. So, all right, but yeah, looking at the markets, guys. So, the markets flew up yesterday. Yesterday, 10 o'clock in the morning. It was really about 10:45 in the morning. Stocks and futures climbed up amid optimism of a U.S. and UK deal and upcoming U.S. trade talks this weekend. So this weekend we got Besant speaking with some Chinese officials regarding de-escalation overseas. That's making people optimistic. Weekly jobless claims fell last week to 228K. Stronger than the 230,000 expected and less than last time as well. So that's good. Brent back up a little bit. So that's good. Up to 63 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate up to over 60 a barrel ahead of the May 10th U.S.-China talks in Switzerland. Gold climbing on a weaker dollar in anticipation of the U.S.-China discussions. So if you look at gold here, gold is climbing up a little bit this morning after, you know, kind of dipping down over the last few days. It's still down over the last few days. Don't get it wrong here, but yeah, a lot of Fed members speaking today. We got Barr speaking. He warned that sustained tariffs could fuel inflation and slow growth this year, highlighting growing downside risks to the current economy. After the news of the deal yesterday, we also had ARM, which fell on weaker guidance. We had Boeing, which went up after the deal by the president was announced. Boeing gapped up a lot, or not gapped up, but Boeing had big upward movement. Of course, we got Palantir sitting at almost 120s. Nvidia kind of volatile today, though, moving a lot. And yeah, that is the big market stories of the day here. Yeah, so I'm looking at all the other big stories, but that's the big ones. The big story is what's going to happen this weekend. Are they going to get a deal done this weekend? I hope they do. I don't think they will, but I hope they do, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think they will, but I hope they do. I just think it's unlikely. Look at the NASDAQ pump up. So we cut that probably when we should have. Looking at some other stuff going on today. Let's take out the news. Both Hef Li, Li Fang, Xi. Okay, so he said a lot of officials are all responsible for the drugs are in Switzerland now, sources told Wall Street Journal. According to Wall Street Journal's Lang Wei, adds 20% tariffs are related to the drugs. Yeah, it's kind of a interesting post there. But yeah, Bank of England's pill says there's some ways to go on. There's still some ways to go on disinflation. Like they still got to wait a little bit longer to go on disinflation. We are starting to see some big rebounds back up here. All right, so look at these rebounds. Again, Nvidia still down on the day. Palantir. Nvidia is actually slightly green on the day. Let me clarify. Palantir is actually slightly green as well, but a lot of them are right at the previous closing price. The NASDAQ is what you can see kind of bouncing here. So interesting. Are you talking about me, Big Player, as that guy? He said I was in the chat yesterday recommending MicroStrategy 420 calls, and they ripped. I hope that guy listened to me. I mean, I didn't because I'm not going to listen to random people in chat regardless of whether you're right or wrong. I get people like this all the time. It's very strange. It's like, look, make your picks, guys. Like, make your money. I'm not mad at that. If you make money, congrats. I'm really happy for you. I really am. I'm not hating on you if you make money. Just don't get mad at me if I don't copy you. I'm not going to follow some random person in chat because they tell me to buy a bunch of options. You know, it's just not what we do. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not really one that gambles on options anyway, you know. So while you might make money this specific time, keeping the money is going to be a lot different story. Because, you know, it's really easy to post about hindsight wins, you know, it's much harder to keep that money and stay on it. So hope you guys understand. It's all love. Just know I'm not going to copy anything you guys do. Not unless I like the idea myself. And I don't really buy MicroStrategy options. It's just not my style. Yeah. There are ways to invest in modular. Oh, I don't even know what any of that is, Sam. Nobody's messing with me. Just a silly fella. Love you, John. Would never recommend you do anything in here. I'm here to learn. Oh, thank you, Big Play. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, like I said, I'm not mad at you for making money, dude. Make your money. I'm happy for you, bro. I really am. As long as you understand, I'm not gonna do whatever you're doing. You know, like, bro. There's and again, not to go on a tangent because he wasn't even talking to me apparently. But there's so many ways to make money. You just got to figure out your style. Everybody in chat, there's so many ways to make money in finance. There really is. You just got to figure out your style. Everybody's different. People like different things. They trade different ways. They buy different things and they attack different strategies, and that's okay. That's how it goes. That's life in finance. Enron tip? Ooh, man, Enron. I heard Enron's a great company, bro. Enron? I heard it was the top 3 greatest ever. You know, I heard they were ping pong champs at Enron. You know, just living life, playing ping pong. Is there a difference between ping pong and table tennis? I've always wondered this. You know, is there a difference, chat? Would you say it's not your major strategy, John? What is? Ping pong? Table tennis? What have I done? Yeah, it's a 1-minute chart, but I mean, my job is to show you guys the shorter term price action. Like, I have a 5-minute chart up right below you. You just can't see it, you know. Table tennis is the professional term of ping pong. Yeah, I guess ping pong doesn't sound the most professional of a sport name in the world right now. Definitely top 3. Hey, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. Pop or soda? I'm from the South. We call everything universally Coke, even if it's a Sprite. You know. What's your take on the MMT economic theory? So you mean that debt isn't inherently bad because governments can just print money, and as long as they do that correctly and efficiently, taking on government debt isn't bad? I mean, the risks of this are inflation, but I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now. I think over time inflation's good for debt, though, but I don't know. That's a much deeper topic. All right, guys, so we got to pull back. I'm going to see if I can buy 20.200 here. 20.2s. It's right under the 200 exponential. I think we might pop it right above. Yeah, there's the pop. I kind of missed it. It didn't quite get down in the range. I was telling somebody on Top Step TV this the other day, but I look for like a range. Sometimes you miss it. Like if I look for an exact entry price, sometimes I miss it. I want sometimes the range around a level to attack more so than the exact number. Well, I think debt's bad, Freddie. And I think, you know, regardless of which lens you look at it under, debt's not good. I think to a certain extent it's true, but it's also riskier, if that makes sense. But to be fair, I'm not an expert on MMT theory, you know. In fact, I'm going to ask AI to help me with it. I know a little bit about it, but... And so let's talk about it real quick. All right, so MMT says that a country that issues its own money like the U.S. with the dollar isn't like a household or business. It can never, quote, run out of its own currency. Instead of worrying about funding, spending through taxes, or borrowing, the government creates money when it spends it. The real limit on spending isn't cash availability, but inflation. Too much money chasing too few goods can drive prices up. Only the government that issues a currency can create it at will. Households and businesses must earn or borrow that currency. They can't print it. Role of tax and bonds. Taxes don't fund spending. They remove money from the economy to control inflation and give value to the currency. People need dollars to pay taxes. When the government issues bonds, it is to borrow money it lacks, but to offer. It is not to borrow money it lacks, but to offer a safe asset and help manage short-term interest. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is probably true. Yes, the U.S. isn't technically in this kind of framework, but it could be. A lot of qualities of it. Right, exactly, Mr. Tomato. So Mr. Tomato said I'm 15 years into a 30-year mortgage. Inflation is definitely good. Yeah, and I've said this before. You can hedge against inflation by getting a mortgage. You know, if you're paying $2,000 a month and, you know, 15 years later, as long as it's not adjustable rate and it doesn't go up with rates or whatever, if you've got a locked-in mortgage, in 15 years, it's not going to be as significant of a payment. Like, it's not going to hurt as much to pay that. And thus, it's combating inflation, you know. And thus, it is combating inflation, you know. Like, you're going to be able to pay off your house for something that's ultimately much less significant. Same thing with getting, you know, a more, or I guess that's the same way. But, you know what? I've said this before. What I really don't like is property taxes. I think property taxes are un-American, man. I really do. Like, I think, like, I'm for paying your taxes. But I think, like, if you got an old lady in California that has $1 million house, she's got to pay $30,000 a year, bro. She got an 80-year-old lady. How's she supposed to pay that? You know? What is she going to do? Lose her house because she doesn't want to go work a job to pay $30,000 a year in property taxes for a property she bought 25, 30, 40 years ago? It makes absolutely no sense. It's completely ridiculous that property taxes are a thing. We're getting taxed on sales tax, property tax, income tax, and more. And licensing and everything else. Like, it's too much. I think we got to get rid of property tax. I think property tax makes more sense. I would love for them to get rid of income tax. And again, I'm not really going to say I agree or disagree with the president or whatever. I would love for them to get rid of income tax. Of course, everybody, I mean, you know. But property tax is the one where I really think it's just not good. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's necessary. You know, at least reduce it by a huge degree. A huge degree. Yeah, right. I think you should age out of it too, Alex. I think that's a great option. Age out of it after you're 60. As soon as Social Security, Medicare kicks in, or whatever it is, no more property tax. You don't have to pay it anymore. That's how it should be, honestly. You know. Right, we have to pay taxes on it indefinitely, Faye. It's a ridiculous. Look at that. Look at how flat the market has gotten. Look at the sideways nature of the market right now, man. That's weird. The Fed's Kugler says policy rate is currently moderately restrictive. Makes sense to maintain it. According to Bloomberg TV. All right, so it's now 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Yeah, we don't have any economic data today. We got Barkin and Williams speaking at 8:30. A bunch of Fed members speaking today, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true, Treff. Yeah, I mean, I get it. But again, when you consider the fact that we shouldn't be paying property tax in the first place on things that we own, you know. Is Basel III bearish event, do you believe, is priced in? I mean, it's gonna put more restrictions on banking. And so we'll see the net effect of that, but it's gonna put more restrictions on banking. Basel III. It's a like blueprint for guidelines in banking, and they're gonna update it, make it a little bit more strict with Basel III. And so I think I don't know. Right, $1 million house in Cali isn't a huge house, right? That's my point, right? It's like an 80-year-old lady living in a tiny house in California is gonna have to cough up $30,000 a year in property tax to pay for that house that she owns, that's paid off. Just in property tax yearly. It's crazy. It's unnecessary. Maybe not 30. It'd probably be like 20. But still, that's a big check to come up with yearly just to live in the house that you own. It's crazy. And this is not just Cali. Like, this is Texas too. Texas has the worst property tax. People always say, "Oh, Texas has no state income tax." And that's true. You still got to pay federal, and you still got to pay property tax. And property tax in Texas is crazy. Texas has some of the highest property tax rates in the country. Like, they get it back. Like, look. Say you got $1 million house in Texas, which, to be fair, is like a mini mansion. So you got $1 million house in Texas. A lot of times it's 3.3% property tax in Texas. So you're going to pay 0.033%. $33,000 for $1 million property yearly. You got to pay this a year. That's a salary in Texas. Like, that's what a normal person pays for a salary that you got to pay yearly in property taxes just to live in a house that you own. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Anyways, we're going to pivot to a different story. But yeah, there's the 8 a.m. scrum. Like, I really start to feel for Happy Gilmore's grandma, you know? Like, when you really get down to it, you feel for her, you know? All right, guys, so we're starting to dip down. Let's watch 20.2 thousand, 20.2K. Freddie says, without prop tax, where would local governments have money to run things? With all the other taxes, we're getting taxed 3 or 4 times on our money. Sales tax, property tax, income tax, licensing, everything else. You know, Texas technically doesn't even have state property taxes. It's the federal taxes that get you. And but still. Yeah, so again, we got 29% for June. I don't think we're going to cut in June. Not unless the only way we're going to cut rates by June is if we get some big inflation prints. The only way we're going to cut in June is if we get like some low inflation prints, if we get some really weak GDP data, like some really weak unemployment data, stuff like that. Like, it's the only way we're going to cut in June. Outside of that, we're almost certainly going to cut in July now. But this is subject to change. This could always change. You never know. Look at this little tight range we're in on the NQ, man. We're not really doing much. I don't know if it's all the Fed members speaking today or what's driving this chop. But we got a lot of chop right now. We're not really doing anything. NASDAQ's very slow. We got like Apple, Amazon, Meta. A lot of stuff like after the tariff update. I think he said 80% tariffs. A lot of stuff came down some, but some of it's coming back up now. Microsoft with a big run yesterday. All right, so the NASDAQ just bounced right at that 200 level here. Right at that 200 level. Let's see if it continues back up, but we did get a little pop back up. Oops, sorry, guys. Alright guys, so we are up to the highs of this recent move here, testing this previous high up there at 230. Let's see if we hold at 230 here. Yeah, the market started running yesterday because of the US-UK trade deal that happened, and then, yeah, that's mostly why I run. Yeah, so the market mostly ran yesterday because of the US-UK trade deal. We got a bunch of Fed members speaking today that are influencing the market. All right, so U.S. Senior Trade Advisor Navarro says it will be an interesting weekend for the markets. Basically, a lot of stuff going on in Geneva, Switzerland this weekend is going to have a big influence over markets, and I'm worried, I'm worried about reactions that we're going to get here. I am. So I'm worried about reactions we're going to get. If a deal gets done, obviously, I think we're going to have a huge upward reaction. I just don't think we're going to get a deal done, and I think the market might be a little bit too strict on that standard. Like, if we don't get a deal done, the market might negatively react and cause some, you know, volatility here. What are your thoughts on that deal? I mean, I don't think it was a bad deal. You know, I think it's good that we're getting deals done. I don't know if the U.S. and the U.K. are huge. Like, I don't know if that's a huge deal. I think it's just the first deal, so we'll see what the rest look like. I think we need more than just the U.K. You know, to put it bluntly, we get some stuff from them, but yeah. All right, so we're starting to creep up here. I could buy 215s down here, and we got like an extra layer of security in the trade based off of the 200 exponential being underneath us at 207s or 208s. So we'll look at that. We got a small green day now. Starting to dip. I hope we don't bounce early. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I tend to think that's probably true, is that the big one is obviously China right now. We got to get the deal done with them. And I think if a deal gets done with them, the market's going to love it, freak out, pop up big, as long as it's a good deal. But that's a big if, and we'll have to wait and see. All right, we're still kind of falling down a little bit here. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to start scaling into maybe a 3 to 4 contract position here at 215s. That's 2. We'll take 3, and we'll leave it here. We got a big pullback right there. We'll take 4. I'm going to see if we bounce right here. Previous support level. There's 215s. I think I scaled into larger size. I'm trying to take larger size though, so we can play with this and see what happens. But yeesh. All right, I gotta start cutting. We'll see if the 200 EMA bounces it though. Yeah, we're gonna cut. That's a big drop. Just to clarify though, we made $400 on this account yesterday, so we can lose 30 bucks and be good. Could be worse. We could have bought that 200 exponential here, but I don't want to give too much back in this account in pre-market, so we will switch accounts to this one. We also had a green day in this one where we made something. Yeah, we're not going to sell that stuff here. Sorry, bro. Yeah, sorry, got to ban that guy trying to sell some sketchy stuff. We don't have any Fed numbers today, but we do have some volatility in Fed speakers. So we got Fed members speaking today. They might influence things. A lot of them are already spoken though, you know. Look at the market bounce right here at that 200 exponential. I'm gonna start just buying that dip. Yeah, we got Fed speakers basically all day today. Kind of a volatile day. I think we break over 570 today on the SPY. Maybe. I think we're very sideways and neutral here. For whatever reason, we're in this really choppy, kind of flat range. Not really much going on. Let me pull up some of my other stuff. Here's a breakdown here. Looks good. So we're kind of back down to the bottom range here too. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Crypto pumped. Yeah, Bitcoin almost up to 104, 105,000. So it's looking good. We're in this tiny little range. We'll see if we buy 200 again. I just don't want to get a breakdown underneath it here. We're about to creep down to 200s. Small little range. That 215 level held really nicely. Look at that. Popped right off of it. I might not catch 200 though. It's been bouncing a little bit before it. Like, look, it bounced at 202s instead of 2s. It's all right. That's how it goes sometimes. You guys had a red or green week? Mine's been kind of back and forth. Like, we made a lot yesterday, made a lot of money back. But it's still kind of boring, man. Hey, good luck. Green mostly. Nice, man. Congrats, chat. Green's good. Green's good. All right, so it looks like my power came back on, dude. Apparently my power is on. Ah, dude, I wanted 200s, bro. Look at this, dude. I just... Ah, man, look. I'm going to move this up. That's 200. Ah. Man, I'm not really happy about this. I kind of missed it, but it's all right. I wanted it. We should have taken it. It's okay. Look at us kind of go back and forth here. Still kind of struggling to get over that 200 EMA though here. We're trying, but... Look, I'll show you, I'm in another little small trade here. We're green on it. We've already taken a lot of profit from it, just to clarify. And now we're kind of going back and forth here. We're up about 4 ticks, but we're going to have to cut it if it pushes up. Little bitty trade. Yeah, we're going to have to cut it now. Ugh. I wanted 200s. I should have taken 200s. Completely flat on that trade now. Honestly, flat isn't as bad as it could be. We got a little head and shoulders here on the pattern too, which typically looks like a breakdown. Should I attack a head and shoulders here? Thanks to yesterday green. Yeah, I made a lot yesterday too, based off of just kind of, you know, we're going to take one contract here, see if we can get that head and shoulders pattern. Very small trade. We'll add to it if we get green in here, but one contract will give me enough room to sit. I don't know if you consider it chasing. I'm just kind of trying to get into good situations in pre-market. Like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take small size, enter a trade, get deep in the green on that trade, and then add larger size into it. So I have less risk with larger size, if that makes sense, right? Like, that's the situation I'm trying to get myself in. And because of that, I'm going to have to try to jump in a lot of like, I'm using my levels. So once we hit 215 here, I don't think that's chasing because I waited for this level to hit. And we basically got in right at 215. But we need if we lose here, it's small, and so that's kind of what it's been today. We're pretty flat on the day. I mean, we're down a little bit, but here we go. I just don't want it to bounce at the 200 exponential right here. Nvidia's coming down. There we go. That's nice. We're going to hold it break even now. So if it pushes up and retraces, we'll get out flat. I hope it doesn't. I hope it breaks down and goes down under the 200 EMA. But as of now, that's kind of holding it up. There we go. So it rejected my level again, which is good. That 215 level. It seems to not like that level. We have a very easy risk level now. There we go. That's nice. All right, Nvidia's starting to flush down too, which makes me like this trade even more. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and just cut it out right there. Take the green. Attack at a really small range, but we're also very, very flat in pre-market here. And this 200 EMA looks like it's giving it support. And Nvidia looks like it bounced back up. So I'm just going to take the profit on that trade and wait. Yeah, I haven't been looking at Walmart. Yeah, it looks like me cutting it where I did. See, I use different levels like this, like you can see on the charts. But I also use this 200 exponential a lot. Because 1 minute chart, highly influencing, I should say. But look at that. Rejection at 215. Probably cut it a little early, but I'm okay with taking small base hits. Trying to, you know. Nvidia's still coming down. Look at Palantir drop to under 119. So Palantir's starting to fall. U.S. probes the role of CrowdStrike's bosses in Caresoft deal, according to Bloomberg. I'm looking at some other news this morning, but I'm not seeing too much here. So there's zero commissions here. The range is so small today, guys. Like, this is the slowest Friday range I've seen in a long time based off of just not a lot going on. Not a lot of news either. The news is kind of boring. I'm seeing, like, some news about the U.S. probing into CrowdStrike bosses in the Caresoft deal. Look at it on social media here. But, again, if you want to give me a follow on X, a great way to help support the channel here, check out the link right here. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Check out the link right there. We cover all the breaking news and markets. Drop a lot of it. There's been a ton of news so far this morning. Might worth catching a couple tweets. Yeah, I saw the GTA 6 trailer. What I'm excited about, like, my favorite GTA game was Vice City on PS2. It's like my first real, like I used to play GTA 3, but Vice City is the one where I went out and I bought a PlayStation 2 to play it. And I remember Vice City. I played that game a lot. And so the fact that GTA 6 is going to be in Vice City is cool. Tesla's not selling. Yeah, I mean, Tesla right now, if we take a look at it here, Nvidia's flat. Tesla pretty boring here. Tesla's up a little bit on the day. It's at almost 290s. I think the big level for Tesla is going to be 300s. If Tesla can break over 3s, I think that's great. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I played all of them, bro. Like, I played my favorite game was Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Favorite game of all time. I played Nintendo Mario with my cousins when I was young, like little. And then I got a Sega, played Mortal Kombat, a lot of Sega games. I had a Sega Saturn. I had a lot of stuff. I had a Sega Saturn. My dad used to make me, like, we were frugal, right? So what I would do is I would buy a console and then play that console. And then if another console came out or I wanted a different console, I would sell my current console in newspaper classified ads. Or what are they called? I'd sell them in newspaper ads. In advertisements in the newspaper. And then I would buy whatever console, usually used, off of the same ads. I'd find somebody that also had the console I wanted out of the newspaper. And honestly, it taught me about freaking capitalism and selling. Like, I remember putting ads out in the newspaper when I was little, selling consoles, buying new ones. And this is when I was like, I must have been like 9, you know. And then my parents would bring me to do the deal. And I would do the deal with people and I'd buy a Sega. I remember I got an N64 that way. That's how I got my Nintendo 64. Played Zelda. Loved it. You know. Played Majora's Mask. Loved it. Played Star Fox, loved it, you know. All right, so here's the breakdown. So we did reject right around 215s. We're hitting 200s. Very flat range. Not a lot going on. A lot of markets are basically frozen right now. Yeah, GoldenEye. Played a lot of GoldenEye, for sure. Yeah, I played Rampage too. I loved it. Although I remember Rampage was fun, but I remember it kind of got old after a while. Like, it got really repetitive, if what I remember correctly. All right, so here's 200s. I'm hoping we break out of this range, man. We don't have any economic data to push us here, but definitely a slower day. Yeah, I never played a Keegan. I never got into, like, I haven't played a Zelda game in years, unfortunately. I tried to get my kids into it. Like, I tried to buy my son the new Zeldas, and he just wasn't into it. He was too young, I think, when I got it. He was like 6, so he's just a little too young. Yeah, I played Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. Once Xbox Live came out, I pivoted to almost purely online, though, as a player. Like, once Xbox Live came out, I originally started playing Ghost Recon on Xbox Live, the original Xbox. And once that happened, I never really went back to, like, story-based video games. I always, like, loved online and competition more. All right, testing 200s here. Let's see if we can bounce. Yeah, I play WWF No Mercy for sure. I like those wrestling games. I was into wrestling for like a very small period of my childhood. Hey, bro. How you doing, man? Love you, dude. Have a good day, buddy. All right, guys. Look at this breakdown. So we're now under 22. 20.2, that is. Let's see if we hold resistance here. I would short this, but I also think we've been so sideways. I don't know if shorting after breaking lows is the smart move. We could keep going down. I just don't know if it's high percentage here. A lot of variance in what could happen here. Yeah, no data. No data today. We don't have anything going on at 8:30. We got Barkin and Williams speaking. We got Canadian unemployment showing up. They're expecting 6.8% for Canadian unemployment. Last time was 6.7%. So in about 20 seconds, we'll see what Canadian unemployment data looks like. We'll cover it live like we always do right here. I just don't think we got anything going on today like that. All right, so there's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Canadian unemployment ended up showing 6.9% higher than expected. Yeah, 6.9% higher than expected. The employment change for April showed up higher than expected as well, 7.4K, so a little bit stronger than expected there. A lot of FOMC members speaking for sure, and a lot of them are starting speaking right now. So we got Williams speaking, Waller speaking, Goolsby speaking today, but we got Barkin and Williams speaking at 8:30 this morning. Bought SimCity from a pawn shop for NES. Started my sim addiction a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, and this is why I didn't short the bottom here. Look at that 200 EMA still influencing it. All right, so Fed Williams does not comment on economic and monetary policy outlook. So Williams is not speaking on economic and policy outlook. So they're not speaking about anything here. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good day. Yeah, I mean, Canadian unemployment showing up at 6.9% is not good, but it's not really going to affect the U.S. or stocks. Look at the market rebound back up here. This is why I didn't buy this low break. Liquidity grab right around this low at 20.2 thousand. Starting to just head up. We'll see if it holds. And also, guys, if you want to check out Top Step gives you a 50K demo. If you want to learn to day trade, do not fund your own account thousands of dollars. You're probably going to lose that, especially in the beginning. Instead, try this out first. It teaches you how to trade under pressure. You're still risking something as well, chat. So you're still risking something. The base one's $50. The middle one's $100. The top one's $150. But if you fail, you're out $50. You're out $100. It's not the end of the world. Versus funding your own account 5, 10, 20, 30 grand. If you fail that, you're down a life-changing amount of money. It just doesn't make any sense. And then taking this challenge, again, they give you a 50K demo. You got to make 3K in profit without losing 2K first, following their rules. If you do that, they fund you 50,000. You get to keep your first 10K in profit and then 90% split afterwards. So the split is similar to funding your own account. The risk is noticeably less, in my opinion. You want to confirm it all with them, but the split is noticeably similar to funding your own account. If you fail, it's noticeably less, in my opinion, than funding your own account, most of the time at least. A great way to learn in a structured environment, and they've paid out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. It's just a really good way to learn in a structured environment, chat. So if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up here. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. And again, you can check them out right here. I'll put the link up. Let me find the link. Yeah, here's the link right here. Also pin it to the top of the chat. Not an investment professional, though. I'm not liable if you lose. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it all with them. I'm top 3 most biased ever. I get paid by them. So I'm biased. I genuinely think they're good for traders, though. With that said, though, look at the market rip back up. Market's flying back up here, chat. Wow. Look at this move in markets. Look at the NASDAQ fly back up here. Still at the top of the range, though. 2030 is the top of the range. We'll see if that level holds. The U.S. is going to seek preferential treatment of UK on any pharma tariffs, according to these rules. Interesting. Such a flat morning, though, chat. Such a flat morning. Blackstone and co-founders are going to take Task U.S. private, apparently. I'm gonna put myself right underneath here. Look at this rebound though. All right, so look at this rebound. I might start shorting this a little bit here. We're at the top of the range. I could take one contract, see if we retrace back down before we try to break these highs. Let's try it. All right, we're hitting that level here. So we got two contracts here. I'd love a rejection. Kind of a flat position as of now. We're almost frozen right here. All right. I'd love a little retracement back down. We're flat on the trade. All right, I'm going to immediately take one off here just to preserve risk, and then we'll maybe add some back here. Nice. I'm going to go cut that right there too, just to lock that in, slowly build up some stuff. We caught the 230 top that we wanted. Could also short this again too, but sometimes what we see happen here is like we go up to the level, pull back a little bit, and then rebound right back up, and I don't want to get stuck in that, especially like Palantir now technically green on the day. Tesla's been pushing up, NVIDIA's been pushing up on the day too. I don't want to really short into that strength. So the New York Fed's what is his name? Perley says early day standing repo facility operations are coming soon. The Fed is going to look at how to make the standing facility better. April's Treasury tumult was bad, though not as bad as 2020. Someone on YouTube said GameStop can short squeeze to 50 to 100K. They're just telling you what you want to hear, brother. You know, and again, like, listen, I'm going to be real. You guys shouldn't like to be manipulated, okay? People are trying to grow a following by telling you what you want to hear, right? That's like, listen, if I buy 1,000 tricycles, you know, I might want to believe that the price of said tricycles per trike is going to spike to 20K a pop, right? With confirmation bias, like I want to confirm what I want to happen. Confirmation bias. I might believe that and be like, yep, I think the price of tricycles are going to pop up to 20K a piece, you know. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. And so at this point in time, you got a lot of people feeding confirmation bias to grow a following. Like they know there's a huge amount of people that are into the GameStop meme movement. And so what do they tell you guys? They tell you guys what you want to hear. Oh, GameStop's going to go to 2050K. You know, follow me, cough, cough on Twitter, guys. Cough, cough, cough. Like, that's what they're going to do. And again, you shouldn't like to be manipulated, right? They're just telling you what you want to hear. GameStop, listen, with all respect, there is zero chance GameStop goes to 20K. I'm sorry, it's not. There's zero chance it goes to 20,000. Not without doing a lot of structure changes. Okay, listen, it's not zero. There is an incredibly small percentage chance that GameStop ever goes to 20K. Let me clarify. Nothing 0%, you know, but it's pretty freaking close. It's effectively zero. And again, you should not like to be manipulated. And again, if you believe the people that are saying GameStop's going to go to 20K, and the problem is like people spend their life savings like following this movement. They want to feel like they're a part of something. And so for whatever reason, they latch onto the GameStop movement. They watch the movie Dumb Money. They you know. And listen, I'm for it. I hope retail punishes these big hedge funds. I really do, honestly. It's not like I'm siding with big banks. But recognize when somebody's manipulating you. the ultimate point I'm trying to make here. Yeah, tricycles for life. That's all. That's what I'm saying here. All right, NASDAQ still trying to get over this 2030 level. I really believe we get some kind of new deal today. I mean, today? Is it going to be today or this weekend? I don't know. I'd like to buy one of your tricycles, 20K. I know what I've got, bro. I know what I've got, okay? It's 20K. I know what I have, all right? The anthem of somebody that does not know what they have is I know what I have. Yeah. All right, guys. NASDAQ's pumping up. Let's see 2050s or 250s here, 20.250. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we get a deal done this weekend. Apparently, the deal's supposed to be happening this weekend. We will see. We will see. Yeah, we'll see. I hope it does, man. The market's gonna fly if it does, but I'm not incredibly confident here. I'll say it that way. Although I'm hoping it happens. You know, here's actually a true story. So when I was about 6, my grandmother got me and my cousin unicycles. And at first that thing collected dust for about 6 months. And then one day I was bored and I jumped on that thing. And bro, I learned to ride that freaking unicycle. I'm pretty confident I could hop on a unicycle right now and ride that unicycle. Bro, I was going on my street in a unicycle, dude. People would stare at me too, I remember. Like, I could ride that unicycle for like 4 or 5 miles just straight in my neighborhood without falling down. Once you learn how to ride it, it's very similar to riding a bike. It feels like riding a bike. I was on that unicycle. Hadn't ridden one since, but I could ride one. If a deal gets done. Yeah, Bitcoin, honestly, guys, is up a huge amount. Here, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin up to 103s, almost 104s. So, Bitcoin's doing good. Let's watch this 230 level in the NASDAQ, see if it holds. The market's very flat, though, today. So just be careful. Maybe the market's waiting for a big announcement, but Fed members speaking, the ones that spoke so far have not commented on outlook for the economy. So that's not really going to be moving stuff. We don't really have any big earnings this morning. Not that I can see. I could call myself a unicycle trader. Coming soon. Yeah, volume's very light today, chat. Very boring. Very light. I'm confident I could. So look at this bounce. We went right up to 250 here and then rejected right off of it. So what happened? Whoa, some type of news just happened. I feel like, hold on. What is going on right here? Chat? Do I ever trade micro Bitcoin futures? Not really. All right, so the U.S. White House trade advisor Hassett says the UK-US deal is a framework for future deals, according to CNBC. Look at that candle, though. What happened here? Okay. The president posted, quote, many trade deals in the hopper. All good. Parentheses, great ones. End quote. U.S. president. So this is what happened. A Fox reporter on X said the GOP sources I spoke with says the billionaire tax does have the real potential to start a GOP civil war. End quote. If there's one thing the Repubs had agreed on since Reagan, even in the disruptive age of the president, is that you cannot tax the rich on economic growth. It's fundamental, and there are no good economics, or there are good economics to back it up. At Beginner Trades is my handle. At Beginner Trades. Yeah, we had this big volatile candle, and then we just kind of slowed down even more. 2030's holding, though. I'm looking at the SPY. SPY's still green on the day, although slight. I'll probably try to attack ranges today in markets. I'll probably just attack ranges. All right, so Advisor Hassett says 24 other trade deals are close to being resolved. 24 other ones is what he said. Hassett says everything about Geneva meeting promising to the U.S. Everything going on with Swiss meeting with Chinese is positive in a CNBC interview. So Hassett speaking, UK deal will be good for farmers, he says. UK trade deals framework for future deals. Hey, what's up, Chef? Appreciate it, brother. Yes, Chef. All right, guys, look at Palantir come back down. Now, Palantir's been trying to go green on the day. It's now red still, but it's trying. Ugh. All right, so U.S. federal regulators, U.S. Fed regulators recommended that Venture Global LNG CP2 export project within Louisiana is approved in the final environmental report, according to Reuters. Yeah, we're very flat right now. I'm not really interested in trading this. We're slightly red on the day though, but 230 seems my levels are working really nice, to be honest. But not really any big edge. Like, even if we hold the level once, we don't know what it's going to do in future movements. And I never attack retests to levels, and there's just too many retests right now to really jump on board with, to be completely honest about it. It's just not really no easy trends here. I kind of want to short this, to be honest, but like a long-term trade, I'm kind of interested in shorting. And I might just be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. You know, not an investment professional here, chat. Yeah, retest. Like, I'll attack a first. Like, if we pull back to a level like this, I'll attack the bounce back up. Can y'all see this? Hold on, let me make sure. No, y'all can't. Let me get myself out of the way here. So if I attack a retest like this, I'll attack the first bounce, right, like this. But if it comes back down and retests it, I'm not messing with that, because a lot of the time that's when it like dumps down here underneath it. I don't really want to get stuck. So I will attack the initial test, because it usually at the very least we'll get some type of influence on the level. Usually it's not 40s and 80s. Usually it's whole dollars and half dollars and quarter dollars. So it's like 25, 50, 75, 100. But it can also be other levels too. I'm also looking at the 200 exponential. And so the closer that is to a level, like if we pulled back to 215 right now, I would buy it up. Why? Because we have the 200 exponential and this 215 level that we have on our chart. So if we pull back to it, we kind of have like double the support down there, and I can target a bounce back up. And so we're just looking for higher percentage plays, if that makes sense. But you never know. Anything could happen. Oil's up today. Oil over 61s. All right, guys. So we're starting to reject down here. Let's see if we retest 230s again. I'll short that too if we want to. Like I said, I was thinking about shorting up here. There's a retest. You know what? I'll try it. Very small trade. We could maybe hold it for a longer period of time. And if we're wrong, I don't really care too much. We've had a couple green trades the last few. Flat right now. Slightly green. It's a struggle though. Such a small range right now, chat, that we're just... Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this. So basically a flat trade. We lost like $6 or something tiny. Once we got back over 230, which it held so many times, not worth attacking it. Yeah, volume's so low right now. It's kind of boring. I do see Palantir start to creep back up. So look at that retracement. We might have gotten something here. I think my short probably would have worked too. I've been getting faked out over and over again, but it's just not an easy day to really attack stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, this is a very slow day, man. The market's very boring right now. We just not a lot happening here. We're gonna get ready to trade the opening bell. Don't worry. The range is tiny too. I don't know if it looks heavy. It looks very, very flat, kind of boring. We can look at other levels in between here, maybe 235s. I think we got 246 at these highs up here. A lot of up wicks. Everything's kind of apprehensive now. I don't think we have any Fed speakers right now either. Yeah, I think that's basically it. We got some at 10. So we're just going to stick around, wait for the opening bell in 30 minutes. Try to get some good action. It is like watching paint dry today. It's just boring. I appreciate the follows on X, Joe and Felix. Appreciate it, guys. Crypto's better than stocks. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is up a lot, you know, which is good. Next week, we got inflation data too, man. So next week, we got inflation. We got CPI inflation, PPI inflation, retail sales, jobless claims. We got Michigan consumer sentiment report. So the problem is, like, the week after that is like nothing. So like next week, crazy busy. The week after next, nothing. We got like Euro CPI, Canadian CPI. It's literally like nothing. Chicago Fed, national activity. We got existing home sales, Kansas City composite data. I'm hoping they update this, but let me see if we have any earnings this specific week here. I know. Let's see about next week. I haven't even checked next week. Next week earnings. No. We got some. Nothing really big though. Wednesday. Cisco's the biggest one next week. It's gonna be on Wednesday evening, but it's not really big anymore. Cisco. We got Baba, Walmart. Baba in the morning on Thursday might be big. We got Walmart same morning. CISQ and some other stuff. Thursday we got Kava, Applied Materials, Take-Two Interactive, Space, a couple other ones, and then that's basically it. What about the week after though? The boring week. Nope. Home Depot, Pony AI, Adobe. Boring. Target. Snow, we got Snowflake that weekend, so we got some stuff. Okay, so Hassett has been speaking. He said we will know more on China tariffs after talks in Geneva. We'll see a lot more deals like the UK coming in the next couple weeks, he said. Barkin is speaking. He said Williams is speaking as well. We are focused on keeping inflation as close to target as possible. Barkin said consumer spending and business investment is still very solid. Yeah, so the earnings today included Wolf, TeraWolf. Most of these companies I'm not really super familiar with. ENB, DIBS, ANIP, GOGO, TIXT, AGM, AQN, INUV, PAA, PAGP, AMR, BKV, DCBO. Yeah, dude. So my son had some stuff going on with some of his friends, bro. Honestly, dude, 5th grade is so freaking difficult as kids. Like 5th and 6th graders are just mean, bro. They're just mean, dude. Like, he's got this one friend who has, like, he's, like, the only child, and his parents are older, right? So, like, he's the only child, and his parents had him, like, really late. And you can tell they just never discipline this kid. Like, they just never discipline this kid. This kid goes around, like, tattling. Like, this kid came to, this kid goes around just tattling on everybody, like, being toxic, and then you can tell his parents think he's, like, God's gift to the world, you know? And he's just kind of mean-spirited. He's just mean-spirited, man. All right, still holding at 230. Yeah, I remember 5th grade. 5th grade's tough. Look at oil. Oil's falling down here. Oil's falling down. That's what I tell my son. I'm like, look, bro. 5th grade, 6th grade's kind of tough. After that, it gets easier. All right, we're going down to 60.7s. Look at oil. Oil's dumping down here. Yeah, dude. It's a tough age, bro. Yeah, Coop, it's a tough age, dude. Like, it's one of those ages where kids are mean. Like, they're super, super, like, selective and exclusive with their friends, and they have a lot of social peer pressures and pressures in general. And if you do one thing wrong, you're, like, banished, and kids are mean. They make fun of each other a lot at this age. It's a hard age, man. That's what I tell my son. I'm like, look, dude. And I think it's probably because, like, boys are kind of growing a little bit, so they're hormonal. And so, yeah. It gets better. I tell my son it just gets better. He's cool with it, you know. Yeah, I remember 5th grade. 5th grade was hard. I remember, like, trying to make friends, but I was a freaking weirdo kid. And I wasn't weird. I was just hyperactive, right? I couldn't sit still. Like, I had bad impulse control, so if I wanted to talk about something, I just talked about it. And I think at that age, kids are very much like, yo, we gotta play it cool, you know? And I was not playing it cool. I was freaking annoying, I'm sure. And so, like I said, it got better by, like, 7th grade. All right, look at the NASDAQ pop back up. NASDAQ all the way back up to 250s here. Look at Palantir rips. So Palantir up to 119s. Let's see if this is NVIDIA related. Oil's been falling down some. It's not really NVIDIA. It looks like Palantir's might be driving this move, unless there's another AI stock. Not Google, AMD, no. Apple's up, but I think, I don't know what's driving this. Fed's Barkin says consumer spending and business investment is still very solid. Williams says price stability is foundational for the Fed. Is it Tesla? Oh, yeah, it could be Tesla. Look, here's Tesla right here. Tesla up to almost 290s. We're testing 250s at the top of the range again. Yeah, dude, I'm not mentioning any names. D. Come on now. If I was mentioning names or saying anything super, like, identifiable, it'd be different. But this isn't, you know. My point is, I'm not even judging. My point is, kids are kind of jerks at this age. It's kind of normal, you know. Tesla up to almost 290s. Hit 251s. Palantir up to 119.50s. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. I'm just gonna call you 80 though. All right, so we're over 250s here. I don't know if I want to buy this either, though. Is this the highs of the day? I don't think this candle counts. I think so. I think this is highs of the day. Yeah, highs of the day. Just broke highs of the day. Unless this candle was some type of actual price action, which I don't think it is. Let me look at a different chart. It was. So whatever happened with this candle here. What was this? High of the day now at 290s. Way up there. Palantir ripping up to almost 120s. Oh, that was the tweet? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that was the 80% tariff news. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to find something to talk about because the market ain't giving me anything. There's no news. Not really any, like, volatility. We got a couple Fed speakers that say something maybe once every 15 minutes, but they're not really moving markets, I would say. And outside of that, there's nothing else going on. Hello?
Just call me if you want me to come pick you up, and I'll...
Alright, guys. We're back. Sorry. Is it time to buy this right here? What do you guys think? Do you guys think you should buy it at this point? We're kind of up there. Personally, I don't like a buy here. I think we're too extended on the upside. But do you guys think you should buy it right here? The 200 and the 200 MA or EMA is 215, 216. No. Yeah, I'm not really interested in buying this either. I tend to think we're gonna dip down some. You know what? I'll try to short it maybe. 250 though, I think is a level, and we're right above it, so. That's the only thing for me is like if 250 acts is a big level, it might be worse. Like we're pulling back to 250 right there. See, look, there's 250. See, look at 250. Literally right off of it. See if it holds though. It's a bounce. It's pretty strong. Big retracement back down and then a big pop back up. So how big is HIMS right now? So HIMS had a crazy run. I remember that. So HIM, yeah, look at HIMS come down here though. Look at HIMS. HIMS is falling drastically here, chat. I swing trading on my holding right now. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't think it's an easy day to make money in markets. I think it's kind of boring. Next week we should get some better stuff though. All right, so there's the downward pressure here. Let's see if 250 rejects it now. A little bit. It's popping right back up. Yeah, so Fed Williams says we are focused on keeping inflation as close to target as possible. So now we're back under 250s. So there's a little bit of a dip. All right, guys, we got 20 minutes left. 20 minutes. This is one of the slowest days I've seen in a long time. I think maybe the market's just apprehensive because of the Geneva, Switzerland meet this weekend. It's the only thing I can really think of here. Is that the market is just apprehensively waiting for that Switzerland meet, see if we get a good optimistic deal done or talks done regarding a deal. De-escalation is what they said that they're going to be speaking about, and hopefully they get some type of de-escalation deal done. Tariff deal. I think if they do, the market's going to fly up, but if they don't, the market might negatively react, and so that's kind of what I'm waiting on here. And I don't, to be fair, I don't think they're necessarily going to get a deal done. But we might have comments regarding a potential deal, and as of lately, the market has been wildly influenced by stuff like that, kind of going back and forth big amounts based off of different quotes and different news releases around that kind of topic. So I guess if I had to pick a direction, I would be bearish, kind of flattish. But who freaking knows, man? If they get a deal done, that's great. Or if they have optimistic talks, that's great. But yeah. Whiplash yesterday. I guess you missed to DCA. Missed what? I mean, a couple weeks, like maybe like a month ago, I bought AMD. I bought like AMD, Tesla, a bunch of different stuff, to be honest. And so I was pretty open about it when I did it. Anybody that watched the stream long enough or knows. At least the question people want to risk stuff today. I think that's why we're probably seeing so much chop, is because we're leading into the Geneva talk this weekend, and that is making people a lot more nervous to take positions today. That's my guess, is why we're so slow today. Do you think we've seen the worst already? I think it's possible we have. I think it depends on what happens. Again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. China absolutely China needs us, and we need China. Okay? China absolutely is going to need the United States. We are the single largest buyer of Chinese manufactured goods in the world. You know, and when I say this, people who are so like, you get people that are just, that kind of believe everything they hear and all this different stuff. And so when I say this, you got some people being like, nah, bro, we're only 15%. 15 is a huge percentage. If you run a business and you lose 15% of your income, are you happy? Of course you're not. I promise they need the US just like we need them. We need them because if we don't have their stuff, we're going to have so much worse inflation problems than we would. So we're the single largest buyer of Chinese manufactured goods, and they are the single largest supplier of our manufactured goods for the most part. And so both sides need each other. This whole thing where, like, and I get it, they're going to try to play hard and be like, oh, we don't need the US, you know. But again, it's not what they say. It's looking at it objectively and understanding, hey, of course they're going to say that, right? You can't lead too much into it. And so I think that's probably why the market's flat leading into this report today. Or not today, tomorrow. Let me see if I can figure out. All right, so now the Nasdaq's heading down, rejecting. We're at 240s. All right, guys, so we are heading down here, heading down. All right, we're right back up to 250s here, chat. We got 13 minutes until the opening bell. Hopefully we get something good. But back up, very choppy. To summarize the stuff going on overseas, so the talks kick out on Saturday. So the talks in Geneva, Switzerland regarding trade are happening on Saturday in Geneva local time. Treasury Secretary Bessent and Trade Rep Jameson Greer is going to sit down with their vice premier, China's vice premier. This is the first face-to-face meeting between U.S. and Chinese officials since early April, kind of an icebreaker de-escalation on the trade battle. Negotiations are going to discuss rolling back broad tariffs, duties on specific products, export control measures, and the de minimis exemptions. Both sides aim for de-escalation rather than a full deal, exploring a roadmap to reduce the 145% and 125% tariffs. Yeah. So this is what's going on overseas. Again, we're going to put a summary on our X page as well. All right, guys. So again, this is full bulletproof style. Yeah. So again, Secretary Besant. It's the first major sit down. All right, testing this top again. Palantir flat. Let me see what else we got. Again, so we got a full bullet point breakdown on x.com. If you want to check it out, there's the link right there. You can give me a follow if you want more stuff like that. Waiting for the opening bell in 9 minutes here. Boring morning, man. It's been hard to find something to do. Honestly, usually got plenty of stuff to cover, but... $12:30 Eastern time, big news release. What big news is at 12:30 Eastern? I don't see any news at 12:30 Eastern. I wouldn't say the market's up big either. Yeah, we don't have any news. We got Waller and Williams speaking at 11:30 Eastern. But I wouldn't call that big news either. We'll see though. Who knows? All right, so look at Palantir up to almost 120. Nvidia is still sitting over 117.50 or so, right around the volume weighted average price area. Yeah, it's boring. It's slower than normal. It's definitely below average. Fed Williams says, well, anchored inflation expectations is very important and helps to reinforce the Fed's ability to achieve its goals. So that's going on right now. Again, chat, if you want to help support your boy here, check out TopStep. TopStep gives you a 50K demo. They test your skill with it for the base one. The middle one, they give you a $100,000 demo. Test your skill with it. Top one, you get a $150K one. $150 a month for the top one. $100 a month for the middle one. $50 a month for the small one. And for $50 a month, they give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit without losing 2K on the demo, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K 90% split. They've paid out millions, hundreds of millions, to be honest. They fund thousands of traders, and learning to trade in a structured environment makes sense. If you fail, tiny amount of risk, similar reward. If you pass it, 90% split, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. That's similar to funding your own account with less risk. And the big thing is most day traders lose regardless of where they go, including here. It's a lot cheaper to learn and lose here. And then if you're good enough, you can withdraw and fund your own account versus trying to get started with your own money, 5, 10, 20, 30 grand. It just doesn't make sense to do that. I lost thousands when I first got started. Most new day traders do. And so again, it just makes sense to try this out first. If you want to check it out, I'm biased, of course, because I get paid by them. I'm biased, but genuinely good for traders, in my opinion. Genuinely good. But yeah, they're an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I'm biased. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. If you want to check it out, there's the link in chat. It's only my second plug of the day. So you're welcome, guys. We keep it Pretty advertisement free here, but you know, top 3 most plugs ever. If you want to check it out, link is in the chat, pinned to the top of the page in the description. Boeing stock is up. Yeah, Boeing ripped up yesterday, Pawn. So if you look at Boeing, like during the president's speech, Boeing was flying. It was one of the stocks we had on our chart. Like, look, here's where the speech came out, and look at this move. So Boeing had a huge day yesterday. Okay, but I think Pawn's reporting that the UK International Consolidated Airlines Group ordered more planes. Look at this dip, though. What's dropping markets right now? It's not Nvidia. It's not Meta. It's not Google. It's not AMD. What's dropping markets right now, chat? Microsoft, not really. Apple's pulling back, but Netflix isn't really moving. Amazon. Yeah, I don't know what's tipping markets down, but hey. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Is it Tesla? No, Tesla's pumping up. Tesla broke 290s right here. Kind of want to buy this dip too. Look at 230s. Eesh. Wanted to hold it. But I don't think HIMS is going to influence the market. Not really. Not big enough stock. We got less than 3 minutes, about 2.5 minutes left. All right, chat. Hey, we have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. Ooh, wait. I put the wrong thing up here. I spelled something wrong here. Eesh. Update it. How much of an average trader with 30,000 buying power can earn in a month in general? There's 2 open. OD. Yeah, that's 2 open, brother. All right, so Brazil Finance Minister Haddad says, quote, "We had a frank conversation with the U.S. Treasury Secretary Besson acknowledged disproportion of tariffs countries that have a surplus with the U.S. and showed disposition to talk." Yeah, I mean, 30,000, it's too broad. There's too much variance in that OD. He said, how much of an average trader with 30,000 buying power can earn in a month in general? It depends on a lot of different things, brother. It depends on a lot of different things. How much of that are you using? What kind of strategies are you using? Are you day trading? Are you swing trading? Are you investing? Even if you're day trading, what strategies are you using? Like, it's too broad. Every trader's wildly different, bro. Wildly different. All right, there's the opening bell, chat. There's the open. All right, so look at this rebound back up here in opening bell. Palantir falling all the way down to 118s. The NASDAQ pumping all the way up to 250s right now. Just ripped up to 250s here, chat. Wow, crazy. Tap 250s. Let's see what Tesla does. Tesla up to 292s almost. Palantir down to 118s. Apple up to almost 2s. AMD up to 103s. Tesla up to 292s. AMD up to 103s. Microsoft actually down a little bit, but the market is mostly reacting positively, which is weird because it's been such a slow opening bell. Chat, it's been such a boring open. It's such a boring pre-market, I mean. And look at this green candle at the opening bell on a 1-minute chart, man. That is a big green candle. Pushing over the range here, chat. Let's see if it continues. Apple's ripping up to almost 200s right now. Wow. What volatile movement here? Amazon too, yeah. A lot of stuff's pumping up. It's too close to the opening bell for me to do anything, but look at Tesla up to 294s. Tesla at 294s right now on this open. All right, we're tracing all the way back down. What the heck? All the way back down, retracement, chat. All the way back down. Now we're popping all the way back up. What a wild day. All the way back up here, chat. Look at Palantir come down, now bouncing back up. Look, this is mostly driven by Tesla, AMD, and more. Wow. What a volatile opening bell, though, man. Very interesting. Yeah, Apple ripped up. Apple got up to, sheesh, dude. Apple got up to 200 plus now. AMD got up to 103s, 104s. Tesla up there, too. All right, getting some bullish strength showing up. Trying to get over 250 though for markets here. We're only 3.5 minutes into the day, so I'm trying to let this play out first, real quick. Tesla still ripping up. Tesla almost about to hit 300s, I think, here. Very volatile open. Wow. Now we're slowing. Big rip. Over 250. Holding. Tesla moving. We'll buy a pullback to 250 if we can get it. But, let's see if we can get it. I'm gonna start it small, one contract. If we get a pullback, Tesla's still rising up. I think Tesla's wants 300, and I think that might kind of lead the rest of the market up too. With everything else, with Tesla, AMD, Apple over 2s, Tesla testing, getting ready to test 3s maybe. It's just underneath it. But again, I'd like a pullback to 250, personally. MicroStrategy going up, Apple going up. Palantir kind of red though, but look at this run. Interesting. So the president posted on X, or no, I'm sorry, on social media. He said, quote, cost down, no inflation, very different from what the Fed and media were hoping for, end quote. Not saying I agree with it or disagree with it. I'm just reporting the news. Market up to almost 7.5s. We're going to watch 7.5s right here. Here's 7.5s right there. I still want 250 down here. Tesla's still running up though. Again, I want 250s. I'm going to try to be patient with this. Let's see, it looks like Tesla wants 300s. All right, look, there's 7.5s. Meta's up pretty big too. Apple is kind of curling back down though, is the problem here. So I'm going to short this. We can hold it break even now too. We're kind of right at this middle road level. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I don't like shorting this at all. And so I'm going to just take a quick little baby trade there. I don't like shorting that at all. It's too much momentum on the upside. Although we are right around the 7.5 level, but I think, I don't know. We'll see. I think Tesla can make a run up anytime now and pull everything else back up. So we did stop right there, basically 7.5. See, the problem though is that Tesla wants 300. It's very close to it too. I'm gonna buy this dip. I wanted 250, but I think Tesla's gonna make a pop towards 300 right now, and that might drag everything else up too. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna add a little bit here. Kind of flat. All right, we're gonna take this immediately off now. Get out, and then maybe add back lower. All right, we're gonna fix our average here. The range is very small here, but man, I wanted 250. I should have just waited for it, but we got a little pop at 250. Yeah, we're gonna start cutting. I don't want to hold this too much. We exited most of the position, and we'll get out there. It's just too risky to take that. It really is. Big reversal. Big reversal. Looks like we're trying though. I got a nice little trade on my other account, but still coming down. 230 maybe holds. It wasn't that ugly. I lost like 50 bucks, you know. I still think Tesla's gonna make that retest at 30 is what I think. The 300s. Tesla at 299s right now. Now Tesla is not the most heavily weighted stock, but it is somewhat heavily weighted. And so that's my thesis right now. What a volatile price action right now, chat. Sheesh, dude. Oh, we caught a bunch of stuff just now, so we actually got really green on our other account. Let me put this up. We can't only trade one account at a time, but like, look. We got ourselves really nicely green in this account. We rode the bounce at 250 here. Other account we're red though, but we're kind of flat in both of them now. Tesla's making that run towards 3. Very whippy market right now, though. Y'all just be careful. I still want to buy this because Tesla's still trying to make a run, but you know, we're gonna buy one contract here, just one micro. So very small, very small. We'll add to it if we get green, but we're not going to add to it unless we get green. See, Tesla's up there too. I'm not going to add to it unless we go green. I could add it, fix my average here. I'm just not going to do that. I think that's a bad habit. Tesla up. Try to get up there. Tesla testing highs. Tesla hitting 300 about, or at least trying to, about to hit it now. We're flat on this trade basically right now. I got rejected. I'm gonna cut this. It got rejected. So we're still green on the day, as you can see. Can y'all see this? Here, let me reduce this a little bit. I don't know why it's not showing. Yeah, there it is. Got out in time too, because we avoided most of this big drop. AMD has turned all the way down to 101.70s. 101.70s. A lot of stuff turning red right now. A lot of stuff turning red. Very sideways, very apprehensive, chat. Hey, there we go. We're in our other account too. We just caught a nice little pop again. But right at these lows again. The market's apprehensive here, chat. All right, here goes Tesla trying to make another threes. I'm guessing chop. I think the market might be sideways, so maybe there's a bottom you can buy up here just because of what's going on. Palantir's kind of flat and boring. It's been crazy though the last week. All right, so I'm gonna buy this dip, one contract. See if we get a little pop. There we go. We're gonna cut that. We got a nice little bounce, bottom of the range. We're technically green on the day net as well in both of the accounts that we traded. One's red, one's green, but we're more green in one than we're red in the other, if that makes sense. So we're net green, which is good. Yeah, I tend to think this is what's going to happen, though, guys. I think with Geneva this weekend, I think the market's going to be big ranged, but flat. And this is what I was saying before the opening bell too. This is kind of what I think we're going to get is sideways, indecisive, choppy action because nobody knows what's going to happen in Geneva this weekend. They don't know if we're going to have deals, positive talks, if we're just going to get rejections by the, other side. We don't know, right? So that's kind of what we're sitting on this weekend is a lot of apprehensive action this morning because people don't know what the heck's going to happen this weekend. And so they're going to be much more quiet, much more reserved in their trading today based off of that, going on. Hey, later. Look at my level, though. Look at 250, man. My levels work pretty well, but in chop, I don't think it's easy to make money regardless. MicroStrategy just broke highs. So MicroStrategy broke highs of the day. Bitcoin's pushing up. Maybe getting ready to retest highs at 104s. I don't think anything major comes out at 10, no. Goolsby, maybe. Nothing big, though. We got copper stuff, but yeah, I just don't think we got much going down this week. At the end of this week, I mean, it's kind of boring. Next week, we got CPI inflation data and stuff. But Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a deal done today. I think it's gonna be tomorrow, Saturday. Trying to bounce. I thought it was like 107 or something, all-time high for Bitcoin. Recent highs, not all-time highs. Sorry. Highs of the last 3 months. Look at this candle here. Tesla just broke threes. Tesla over 300s. I missed everything this morning. So the market's flat right now. Tesla just broke 300s. NASDAQ and S&P and Dow are all kind of choppy and sideways so far this morning. My guess is because we have the Geneva meeting with the two sides, China and the U.S., with Besant speaking and Greer on the U.S.'s side, and then their vice premier speaking. A lot of optimism or worry regarding this meet. You know, it's supposed to be about de-escalation. The NASDAQ just cracked the lows of this range here, but it's supposed to be about de-escalation, but who knows what's going to happen. And I think we're going to get choppy neutral sideways action leading into this weekend based off of that. Maybe some sells. I don't think the market's going to go up too much based off of potential reversal if we get some bad news from this meeting. So I think that's kind of my stance right now. I don't know what's going to happen. We got a lot of Fed members speaking today, but outside of that, it's just kind of boring and slow. So that's kind of what we got going on. All right, got a little pop back up. I'm probably going to cut out of here, guys. I'm not like, look, I'm net green on the day. I'm going to take that and ride off into the sunset. Y'all be safe. Be good. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, I'll put the link up one more time here. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Very similar to day trading stocks. Most pro traders trade futures. Day traders, that is. No PDT rule in futures as well. So you can actually like do stuff without the PDT rule. Top Step's one of the most legit in the world. They give you a 50K demo test your skill. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one's $50. Learning to trade in a structured environment just makes sense. Teaches you how to trade better. And if you're good enough, you can get funded. You get a 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K prior to that split kicking in. If you fail, you're out $50. And if you're good enough, you can withdraw and fund your own account if you're good enough after getting funded. So if you want to check them out, just a good way to learn, kind of like a challenge, kind of like a boot camp for trading is like the best way to describe it, with a lot of good rewards as well. If you want to check it out, there's the link. Remember, not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. I can't guarantee anything. Understand all the stuff. Confirm it all with them. With that said, market's starting to bounce back. We are pushing over the volume weighted average, or no, wait, over the 200 exponential. Let's see if we can hold here. It's right here at 225s or 226s or so. Market is coming back. Again, I think we're going to chop today, guys, personally. Who knows, though? We'll see what happens. But, yeah, hey, y'all be safe. Be good. I love you all. Have a great day. See you guys next time.